Hello and welcome to what's new in Google Play Services. And the first thing we want to know is, are you enjoying Google I/O?
Yeah!
Ho ho! That was even better than I thought. Are you enjoying Google I/O? Yeah! Oh, that's great. We're loving Google I/O. Google I/O is great. It's like having one of those birthday parties when you were a child. It's exciting. It's something to look forward to. It's a big party!
And you know, sometimes I feel like working at I/O is like one of his birthday parties. It's lots and lots of work, but it's a whole lot of fun too.
And speaking of fun, today we're going to talk about something which is a lot of fun, building great apps and using a key technology in doing so, Google Play Services. Because if you use Google Play Services, you will build better apps.
Because today there are now more than 17 top-level APIs in Google Play Services, and we're adding new capabilities all the time. And these APIs are available to you as a developer so that you can build these better apps that Magnus is talking about.
And Google Play Services are being pushed to more than 1 billion devices for each release. That means that your audience is a massive one, where you can promote yourself and your business.
And that leads you to earning. Did you know that in the last 12 months alone, developers of Play Store apps have earned over $7 billion? And this is what we believe is a great demonstration of the economies of scale that are available for you.
And it doesn't stop there. Since last year, we have released 5 new versions of Google Play Services. That's one release almost every second month, packed with new functionality for you to use when you develop your apps.
But our question to you is this: are you capitalizing on this massive opportunity? Are you thinking mobile first, and are you using Google Play Services to think mobile first in your development?
Because at Google, we are super committed to the mobile revolution. And a big part of that is to provide all of these great services that we have in our data centers running all over the world.
That's a big-looking data center.
It is a nice-looking data center. And take all of those services and make them available on all of the mobile devices out there. And we are pretty good at building data centers, so we have lots of value there to provide to mobile devices. And Google Play Services is the key integration layer that makes this possible between the data center and the mobile device.
Because this helps us as Google and you as application developers to push the boundaries of what's possible together. And as Henry Ford once said, if everyone is moving forward together,
success takes care of itself.
Wait a second, Magnus.
What now?
We've forgotten something.
Oh, no.
We're not just doing like a list of all the stuff that's in Google Play Services.
Oh, that's right. We're also handing out some swag. You interested in swag? Yeah. All right.
You can take it.
OK.
I'm worried.
Let's see how this works now. So this is the way this is going to work. At various parts of this presentation, right, we will go out and we will say, Google Play Services. And then you will say, rocks. You
and it's in Comic Sans font, too, if you've noticed.
Yeah.
We actually got to use that in a presentation.
Are you ready to try that? Yeah. All right. Google Play Services.
Rocks!
Great. Whoa! Whoa. Let's try that one more time.
Let's try kind of in a... Oh, this one's going to go far.
Is this really packed?
This one's really packed.
Oh, my.
Anybody got a catcher's mitt? Let's try a different one.
I think this is going to... We could try it like this. I mean, we can try.
Let's see what happens. Let me just hide behind the podium,
yeah,
sorry.
Are you ready in the front row? No. Google Play Services.
Rocks!
Whoa!
Woo! Bullseye.
There you go. OK, let's keep this party going. And what can be a better place to start than games? Have you ever tried to set up a multiplayer game and had technical challenges?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible, right? You're fiddling around with the controls, you can't find the configuration. Well, the Nearby Connections API solves all of that. It just takes technology completely out of the way so you and your friends can focus on the fun. It turns every smartphone into a flexible controller. And since it's a touch screen, you can use any types of controllers. You're not bounded by these physical things that you see in consoles.
So I can use this like instead of an Xbox controller?
It's a remote controller. And then you can display the game action on a central screen like a big tablet or an Android TV or something like that, for example. And of course, this thing is not limited to just games. It can be used for any type of apps out there. Another thing that we launched for Play Game Services is Play Game Analytics, essentially an analytics platform built into all of the games that you create that helps you get data to understand your players, to manage and set your revenue target, and also identify hotspots in your game. These are 3 key things to monetize on your game. And those things were previously done only by big studios with big budgets.
And I don't have to do any kind of development, right?
No, there is no coding whatsoever. All of this is automatically recorded when you use these APIs.
And while mobiles like this are great, the thing that makes them really portable, this tiny little screen, can be a limitation when you want to share content with your friends, right? It's hard to huddle over a small screen like this. And as a result, we released Cast and the Cast SDK that would allow you to reflect this on a big screen like the ones behind me. Now, in addition to that, in the last 12 months, we released something called the Remote Display API. And what the Remote Display API does is it removes the boundary of mirroring that you would have to have. So now you can drive independent content on this screen and on that screen. And as a result, like maybe Magnus, you and I, we're both big hockey fans. Any hockey fans here? Nice, nice. So Magnus and I are both big hockey fans, and we could be like, you know, watching a game on the big screen and like chatting with each other on our small screen, and I could be telling him how all those Swedish players suck, you know. And
they are great.
You know. Oh, Magnus, sorry, it's your turn to talk.
Oh, I see. Okay, many times I've thought, if I build it, they will come. And that's really, really tough, isn't it? And it's not even enough, right? You also have to monetize on the stuff that you're building, right? You have to earn money in order to improve your game and for your business to grow. So therefore, mobile ads is a perfect way to do this. And it is at no cost to the user, right? So the ads team that we have, they're working really, really hard on making all of those mobile ads as relevant as possible to the user.
So does that mean, like, if we're watching our hockey game, I'm not going to get ads for diapers?
No, you're not going to get ads for diapers then.
Cool.
You're going to get sports ads, of course. So this means that users will get relevant ads. Ads they will actually be delighted to see. And if the users are getting delighted by the ads, then the advertisers will be delighted. And you as app developers will also be delighted. A win, win, win.
And a constant pain point when you're building applications is like managing sign-in for your users. It's a pain for you because you have to build the infrastructure and you have to secure that infrastructure for signing folks in. And it's a pain for your users to remember yet another username and password. What do I use to sign into this app? What do I use to sign into that app? And one of the things we've shipped in Google Play Services is sign in with Google. And the idea behind sign in with Google is it manages all of that for you. Your users have a much better experience because they can just use their existing Google IDs to sign in and they don't have to remember a whole new set of credentials. And you end up having the security of knowing that you've got this great bulletproof infrastructure behind you. So you don't need to build everything that's needed to actually support these end users.
Swag break. Now, Google Play Services.
Rocks.
Whoa. How about that?
You almost got him. So hang on, I think we got a really quiet crowd here today. Should we get like, who wants Magnus to shoot a T-shirt your way? Yeah! So which side is louder? Is it this side? Yeah! Or is it this side?
Yeah! Oh,
maybe you give these. What about? Is it this side? Yeah! Or is it this side? Yeah! Oh boy, that's close.
I think per person they're louder here.
Yeah.
Let's go here. Here we go. Whoa!
When I rehearsed this yesterday, I ended up throwing the remote by accident. So I had to be really careful not to throw it this time.
All right, now turning to an API that I think is a hidden gem in the Google Play Services family, Google Drive. Did you know that every single user of Google on the planet has 15 gigabytes of storage available right there, free of charge and ready to use?
That's a lot of gigabytes.
Yeah, 15 gigs. how can your app help them use that storage? With Google Drive, sign in for Google, all of that capacity is sitting right there, already authenticated and ready for your app to use.
And in addition to that, you can take advantage of analytics. And analytics isn't just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding your users so that you can continually delight them. Let me give a couple of examples. Like if you've built a mobile app that's got a lot of screens in it, a lot of the times your users are going to be leaving after one screen. Maybe it's your game over screen in a game, or maybe it's your hockey app where as soon as they show the Swedish players, everybody wants to leave. And sorry, Magnus. And you can actually use analytics to track this, and you can see what it is about my app that's causing people to leave. And I can follow up on that and maybe improve my app in that way. Or my personal favorite is when it comes to localizing my application. Now, it's easy to make a finger-in-the-air estimate and say, oh, the next language I need to have is French or Spanish or Mandarin Chinese or something like that. But when using Google Analytics, I might find out hidden knowledge that maybe my app is the most popular app in Turkey or Armenia or some other country like that. And it'd be smarter for me to localize it to that one, to delight my users in that country. And there's just so many ways that you can do this. There's so many ways that you can understand your users so that you can continually delight them. And I'm an analytics geek. I could just talk about it all day.
No, Laurence, let's not do that. I mean, we have lots of stuff.
We got Google Play services, right?
Let's instead talk about Android Pay. Mobile payments are hot, if you didn't know. And Android Pay is the technology that makes this physical thing that we carry around us every day, and it gets bigger and bigger for every year as you pile up additional credit cards and loyalty programs into it. Make all of that content be integrated into your mobile device. So that's from a user perspective, right? But for you developers, there's also great value because Android Pay brings money into your app. It allows you to deal with trading physical goods and get paid for them. There's also an aspect, if you're developing apps for charity, where you can donate money using Android Pay. So if you think about this, what Android Pay does is that it takes the physical world of commerce and taking that into the digital world. And your app is sitting right there in the middle, connecting the user and the merchant.
And talking about connecting the dots, another technology that's in Google Play services is Google Cloud Messaging. And if you've ever wanted to build some kind of infrastructure that provides notifications to your users and asynchronous notifications that get synced across all of their devices, you probably realize this is pretty hard to do in a way that's easy, and it's pretty hard to do in a way that's battery friendly. But if you build with Google Cloud Messaging, you'll get exactly all of that. It's all about asynchronous messaging from the cloud to your users, and it's at zero cost to you.
Hey. What do you say?
Zero cost to you.
It's zero cost?
Zero cost. You can keep your wallet in your pocket.
How can it be zero cost?
Because we're awesome. So we've added the concept of topics to this recently. And if you've used Google Cloud Messaging, topics, and we saw a little bit of it in the keynote this morning. And the idea behind topics is that you can set up types of messages that your users will subscribe to. So for example, I live up north in Seattle near the Canadian border. And I love on weekends during the winter, because I manage a hockey team, to go across into Canada and get slaughtered at hockey. And but if I'm in that country and maybe you've built a news application and your news application is going to be delivering news to American audience and your news application could be delivering to a Canadian audience, and I could pick the topic of Canada and just subscribe to news in that. And those kind of topics are just, you make it a lot more portable, make it a lot easier to use, and it's, like we said, it's at zero cost to you.
And for Maps, we added a new toolbar that gives users that you have access to navigation immediately. Light mode maps were also introduced into the mobile API, allowing you to display a lighter version of Maps if you don't need the full-blown Maps experience. And combined with
location, then you can start thinking in terms of building hyper-local applications. And you've probably used location, and you're probably familiar with location services and apps. But one really cool thing that's been added in the last year is the concept of like an in-place location dialog. And the idea behind this is like, if you've ever opened up an app that uses location, and if you're like me, you turn location off to save battery, and you open up the app and it says, location services are turned off, please enable them. So you exit the app, you go into settings, you find location in settings, you turn on location. You then exit settings, you go back to your app, and it's like...
That's awful.
It is. I mean, it's a lot of work for the user, and it's very user hostile, right?
Yeah.
Shall we have a moment of silence for that?
Okay.
Go on. So no, but with the in-place location dialog, the idea is you as a developer, if you use this in your application, that pain for the user just goes away, and you make their experience that much better. Uh-oh, it's time for
Google Play Services. Whoa! That's good.
Woo! Oh, nice catch.
That's a pretty good one.
Wow. Got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. Anyone want some swag?
Yeah. See if you can hit the cameraman with
this is one of those, again, that can hit the control tower over there. So 300 PSI, that's going to be great. Okay, Google Play Services.
Rocks!
Whoa!
Whoa! Nice.
That went way over there.
Yeah, that's a lot of new stuff that we've spoken about.
Yeah.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
You know, there's so much more, right, that we can talk about. So why don't we, like, David Letterman style, do like a top 5 countdown of some of the new things?
That sounds great. So, yeah, let's do that. But we're developers, right? It needs to be a 0x5 count.
That's right. We got to do it in hex.
Yeah.
So that's the topic. But then again, as we're developers, we should start counting from 0x4 because engineers count from
0.
Okay, that's right.
Try that again.
Yeah, so because engineers count from 0. Much better. So, you know, I think it's great to have apps, and I love some of the apps that I have on my phone, but sometimes discovering apps can be very difficult. And so for me, it's great that I find like crazy hockey apps that Magnus gives me, or those irritating tap, tap, tap games, you know, the ones that I'm talking about that my son usually gives me. And a great way to discover new apps is through friends and through family and through people that you'll trust. So we've picked number 0x4 on our countdown to be
App Invites, where friends help friends find great apps. Apps Invite provides you with an API as developers that can present a simple UI for which the users of your app can invite other users to install the app as well. So I'm, for example, using an app, of course, where I can see Swedish hockey players. So this allows me to invite my friends to use this app. My friends get the invite, they install the app, they engage with the content. Everybody wins. And in particular, you, the application developer, wins, since you get free word-of-mouth marketing for your app. There is nothing better than a friend referral of your app. And of course, there are controls in place to protect the user experience for this.
So shall we celebrate the App Invites API with a...
That sounds good. Okay. Google Play Services. Yeah.
I'm going to show some love to this side of the room. So let's... You get folks ready? This thing's got a bit of recoil, so... Oh, almost. Almost. Should we do one more?
Yeah. Anyone want one of these? Good catch over there. Oh, I gave it away.
OK, so when Magnus reached the back of the room, it was at 300 PSI. I've just put it to 600. No, only kidding.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
Watch the screens. All right, and we've already spoken a bit about maps and location and the importance of having an accurate location to offer the best possible services. But it's not all about location, right? It's about places. And there's no place like home, right? So therefore, our 0x3 on our countdown list is
the Places API, and there really is no place like home, or if you've watched me on YouTube, there's no place like the nearest coffee shop, and that's what the Places API is all about. It's got over 100 million locations in it, and we saw lots of cool stuff about the Places API and the things that you can do with Places in the keynote this morning. But like one story I like to tell was like a couple of days ago, I've been to San Francisco so many times, and I'd never been to the Golden Gate Bridge. So a couple of days ago, I went to check out the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's beautiful, it's an awesome thing, and I was using an app that showed me that there was some latte art in a coffee shop that wasn't too far away, and I had to go check it out. And this was the kind of thing that I discovered from an app that was using the Places API. So think about your app and the kind of things that you can do in your app. You can give your users access to what's available all around them at this moment in time, particularly when they're not at home, when they're traveling somewhere. They can discover new things that will actually delight them. And like, you know what, it's great to build a generic app that has coffee shop details or ski run details or ice rink details or anything like that. When you can build a one that takes advantage of this rich information about all of these places, over 100 million places. Think about how you can delight your apps think about how you can delight your users with apps that do that. And the time to build the apps that does this, I believe, is right now. So are we going to celebrate?
Let's celebrate, yes. The Places API. Am I doing this right now? I'm kind of forgetting as I go along here.
Have you cranked it all the way up?
Yeah, it's all loaded.
Hang on, I'm going to hide again.
The Google Play Services. Over there. Oh, that came in pretty fast. This is not an exact science, by no means.
Yep.
It all depends how you tape the shirts, and so anything can happen.
We had so much fun preparing for this.
Google Play services. Here we go. Whoa. Oh, good catch over there.
Nice. And is that a Portland Trailblazers hat, I see? Cleveland Browns. And you can catch a ball. Nice. And this brings us to number 0x2 on our countdown, which is
app indexing. With more and more apps coming out every day, it's getting harder and harder for the users out there to discover your app. App indexing solves this by providing you with the capability to take content, specific content in your app, and surface that through this API and make it part of the Google search engine index. That means that users that are using Google search out there, searching for this type of content, can actually discover your app. So it's a great new feature. And the search integration goes even beyond this. Your users can now engage with your app through Google Voice search commands. So for example, OK Google,
search restaurants nearby.
Search for restaurants or hotel nearby.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too.
I don't have any food, so I think I'm just going to celebrate by launching some swag. What do you think?
That sounds good.
OK. So can we have a Google Play services?
Oh, that's going to hit the screen.
Oh, nice. All righty. One more. All righty. Let's try this side of the room. Can we have a Google Play services?
Oh, almost the camera.
I wasn't aiming at the camera, honest.
Were you aiming or?
No. So.
Hey, Laurence.
Yeah? Yeah, what's
up with this countdown, right? There's so much stuff, and we still have 2 left.
That's true, yeah. Well, that just shows how much good stuff we put into Google Play services, right?
That's right. So what now?
Number 2, or number 0x1 on our countdown, is Google Fit. And Google Fit is really about getting all of your fitness data in one place. And then think about the possibilities for knowing yourself that come from integrating all of this data. Like, in the not-too-distant past, you might have had a heart rate sensor, or you might have had a pedometer, or you might have had like a cool app that measures your bike ride, or a different cool app that measures your run. But think about what happens when you bring all of this together. Like, what was your heart rate like when you were cycling up a hill? What was the impact on your body when you were ice skating? And think about all the ways that you can bring this together. And it's like, that new diet, Magnus, it's looking good on you, buddy.
I don't know.
And it's like, these kind of things you can learn.
I don't think it's working.
And like Fit gives you access to all of these different types of sensors that I was talking about. It gives you access to a recording API. And the idea behind the recording API is that you can smartly automate what to record and when. It gives you access to a history API. And the nice thing about the history API is you can then do a deep dive into the historic data around your health. And maybe you'll discover trends that weren't apparent to begin with. My personal favorite is the Sessions API. And the idea behind the Sessions API is it allows you to measure fitness data in different ways at different times. I'll give an example. My son runs track for his team, and he's actually running in a track meet right now. So after the session, I've got to find how he did. And in the 400 meters race, he can do 400 meters in a little under 60 seconds. But his fitness data while he's doing that 400 meters race is vastly different than his fitness data in the hours that he's training for that race. And with the Sessions API, one could build an application that's optimized for a scenario such as that one. And then another one, which is really, really cool, of course, is custom data types. So maybe somebody here is an expert on unicycling and the impact that unicycling has on the body. Oh, we got one at the back. Are you an expert on unicycling? Nice. Or maybe you're an expert on ice skating or something else like that. So things that we haven't thought about, things that we haven't built in, you can actually extend using these custom data types.
All right.
Time to celebrate?
Yeah. Should we celebrate Google Fit with Google Play services?
Yes!
There you go.
Oh. Nice. Oh.
That actually hit exactly where I wanted it to. All right, let's try another one.
Google Play services?
Yes!
Whoa.
Ooh, nice.
Nice catch over there.
So we're getting to the end of our countdown, and we've reached number 1, or 0x0, as we like to call it. But any C++ developers here? No, that's not a null pointer, OK? So we reached the top of our countdown, and
yeah, that's right. And our number 1 feature is something that brings all of these things together. It is Android Wear. We introduced Android wearables at Google I/O last year, and boy, has it come a far way since. If you haven't looked into Android Wear and you're not developing for Android Wear, you really need to start, because this is a new computing paradigm that is just off its starting blocks. You can now, for example, attach any number of wearable devices together with your phone. I got 2 devices right here that are paired with my phone over here. And the new Channel API and the Capabilities API allows all of these devices to talk in real time and also transfer file between them. And the Capabilities API allows each of the nodes to surface the capabilities they have. For example, if they have connectivity to the internet. And the devices are getting more and more capable out there. For example, just now, a couple of hours ago, the Maps API was launched for Android Wear in the Android Wear SDK, and that allows for you building native wearable applications that use the Maps API directly.
That's pretty cool. So
that's
while I'm
cool.
navigating, I can see it on my wrist.
That's
right?
amazing. It's thanks to this advancement in sensors, etc. Also, as you heard in the keynote, Google Fit now also supports squats, sit-ups, and pull-ups, in addition to running, bicycling, and walking. So all of these capabilities are there also to detect activity. And all of these sensors are getting better, and the mobile SDK, we're enhancing all the time to take advantage of these new hardware improvements. All these things, they are transforming the wearable to something beyond just an extension of the phone. So get on board the wearables train, because it's sure to change the way we humans and technology interact.
So should we celebrate the wearables platform or null pointer or 0x0?
Absolutely. This is the first place. Go ahead.
This is my favorite color T-shirt. I wanted to keep this one. So let's have a Google Play Services. Oh,
all right. Google Play Services. Google Play Services. OK.
One more. I'll stay away from the cameraman with this one. Google Play Services.
Oh, it's going to hit the screen. It did actually hit the screen.
Wasn't me. Can we scroll the notes down a little? So when your users can find new things that they'll love.
Are continually delighted by your app.
When they can connect with each other and the technology just gets out of the way.
Can put the content on any screen.
When your users have gigabytes of free storage that they can access anywhere.
Can securely sign into your app.
They can easily, quickly, and safely make payments online.
And are always in the moment, immediately informed of what they want to know.
When your users are hyper-locally connected to the world that they live in.
Find the content that they desire.
Have all of their bio and fitness information in one place.
And are connected to the distributed, wearable computing revolution. When your users are doing all of these things, then you are developing using Google Play Services. There is a huge green field of opportunity here to develop, engage, and earn. If you look at all of these things that we've talked about today, all of these APIs, and start to imagine what you can do when you combine them together, it's going to be something fantastic. We really look forward to see what gets out there in the next 12 months. And if it's anything like the previous ones, then you better buckle up. It's going to be a heck of a ride, because Google Play Services. That's right.
Thank you. So we have a few microphones set up for questions, and there's a little bit more swag for folks who have questions. So if you have any questions for Magnus, or if you have any questions for Magnus, just please, ask them at the microphone.
Stop it. Also, please provide feedback to the session using these links over here.
And we have some of the folks from the Google Play Services team at the back here. Can you give us a wave?
Yeah.
So if you've got any questions for those folks too, they're going to be here, and they're also going to be in the Code Labs area at the back.
These are the engineering folks of Google Play Services, so take the advantage of asking them technical questions, OK?
And we might have to pull some of them up here if we can't answer some questions.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you just talk about the relationship between Android Pay, Wallet, Instant Buy, Buy with Google, all of these things?
Yes.
And thanks.
So, yeah, so Android Pay, you can look at that as an extension of Google Wallet. It's a Google Play Services component. When you look at Instant Buy, that's not an API directly connected to Google Play services. It's outside to deal with virtual goods, not physical ones. So if you're not dealing with physical things, so to say.
Cool. Maybe this side?
Hi, so I've set up app indexing in my Android app, and I was wondering how long does it take for those things to start getting indexed? When will you start seeing those being surfaced in Google search results?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm not sure the specifics, but it should be pretty fast, right? How long ago did you set it up?
At least a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should take that offline.
Yeah, I'll talk to these guys at the back to
But
check
it's not
on
an exact science. As all things with Google search, right? It does
So it's black box.
It does its crawling. But certainly, we can follow up with somebody that's more technically capable to answer that question. All right?
About this side?
Yeah, I saw that you had the voice integration that you could use sort of the same way that you use Google Now, but inside of the application. Is that limited to just the search functionality, or can you use that to launch other things or do other types of actions in the app?
Right? Yeah.
Do you want to, there's a limited set of keywords that you can do with it right now, but that set of keywords is being extended. And there's also some keywords that are whitelisted that you can check with the folks to get it used. And definitely the folks at the back of the room will be the ones who'll be able to give you, if you have a specific keyword that you want to have triggered in there, they'll be able to lead you and help you in that.
But search X and Y will work for any app.
Yeah. Yeah. Over here.
I'm from Hong Kong. You just mentioned that Android Pay is similar with Google Wallet, but this is for physical goods. So are we going to have the same profit sharing scheme that is 30% of the payment amount have to give to Google?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, when we are developers, so when we are doing in-app purchase or using Google Wallet, the payment 30% of the payment amount will be token by the Google Pay or by the Google Wallet. So is this the same amount, same proportion on Android Pay?
We can't answer.
Yeah.
Come to us afterwards. We'll find the person that can answer that question for you.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's a good question, though. But I mean, my understanding is that the pay for selling goods and that kind of thing is separate from the amount that you pay for in-app purchases or for App Store purchases and that kind of thing. So my imagination would be that it's somewhat different, but I don't know the exact figure. So maybe this side?
Hi. Are you guys doing anything with the location APIs in order to add more inputs to Fuse Location Provider, such as indoor location mapping or any other sensors?
Yeah, so we're working on this all the time. We're actually adding and looking into new stuff all the time, but we don't have any actual specific ones that we can announce at this time. Sorry. All right. This side?
Yes, so for the invite API, there is any way to detect the closed loop. So if I invite anybody, is there any way you are going to notify me that the people I invited, some one of those, they downloaded the app or not?
That's a good question. I don't know. So when you invite somebody, so to repeat the question, when I invite somebody, I want to know if they've accepted the invite or not. Yeah. I really don't know, but let me check on that.
That's a detailed question.
That's a really good question.
Or app invites. Come and we can find somebody that can answer that to you also.
Because you don't want to keep asking them again and again and again, right?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Maybe this side?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
I know that it's now possible to connect an iPhone device to Android Wear and to receive all the notifications from iPhone to Wear. Will you expand the framework to work with Wear for iOS applications?
Yeah, I mean, future-looking stuff we can't really comment on right now, but I would say if you want to understand Wear and how Wear works with iPhone, it's best to speak with the engineering folks, the guys in the red shirts at the back.
Okay.
So sorry, we can't speculate on future stuff.
Thank you.
So,
if any one of you engineering folks down there know the answers to a question, just raise your hand and we'll just hand it over to you. Okay?
we'll just do that for every question. What do you think? How about in the middle here?
So my question's also about app invites. How does that work specifically for games? When you want to, invite a contact of yours or something via games, is that through Google Play Game Services?
Yeah. To my knowledge, it would be exactly the same thing as any app stored in Google Play, regardless of whether you use Play Game Services or some of the other APIs.
They'll receive an email invite with a link to it in the App Store or in the Play Store, and then they can just click on it to install it, that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's all through email?
It can be through email, and I believe it's also through IMs. Jeff?
You can invite through Google Contacts. You can invite through email and SMS. Am I correct here?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm correct here.
This stuff is so hot off the presses.
Yeah, this was released today, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. This side.
Yeah, I want to ask, how are you keeping the Android payment credentials secure? Are you using Secure Element?
Come up afterwards and we'll find the person.
That's a really good question.
This is the problem with Google.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with Google, we have to realize we're dealing with 12 APIs here, right? So
over 17.
Yeah, over 70. Yeah, top-level APIs. If you look at the packages, correct.
So yeah, and it's one of those things that like this is just so new off the presses. We don't have the specific technical details. I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. Last one on this side.
Hi. Are the invitations limited only to applications? For example, I saw a good movie or I listen a good song. Can I send a recommendation to a contact?
App invites, to my knowledge, is limited to apps, but you as an app developer decide which content that actually triggers the app invite. So if you have content in your app that you're interested in telling your friends about and that they engage through your app to get that content, you can actually deep link to that content within your app as part of the app invite process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks you so much for attending.
Sorry, he wasn't.